Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. Have you ever promised Allah that this time you would change, but somehow found yourself returning to the same struggle? You prayed. You made sincere tawbah. You begged Allah for strength, yet something keeps pulling you back. Today, we're not talking about other people. We're talking about the enemy living inside every one of us. Before we begin, subscribe and join this journey of spiritual awakening. Because what you are about to discover may change the way you see yourself forever. Most people spend their lives searching for the reason behind their struggles. They blame circumstances. They blame other people. They blame bad luck. And whenever they fall into sin, they immediately blame Shaytan. But what if the real battle is much closer than that? What if the enemy causing the greatest damage is not standing outside you, but living within you? The Nafs does not force you with chains. It speaks with your own voice. It whispers through your desires. It convinces you that one more delay in prayer is harmless. One more sin is insignificant. One more excuse is acceptable. And that is what makes it so dangerous. Shaytan may knock on the door, but often it is the Nafs that opens it. Think about the moments you regret the most. The words spoken in anger. The temptation you knew was wrong. The opportunities to obey Allah that you postponed until later. Who made those choices? Tonight, be honest with yourself. The greatest battlefield of your life may not be somewhere in the world. It may be hidden inside your own heart. One of the most profound insights associated with the teachings of Ibn Arabi is that the Nafs is not simply something to hate or destroy. It is something to understand, discipline, and transform. Many people think the spiritual path is about fighting themselves, but Ibn Arabi taught that Allah created nothing without wisdom. Even the Nafs has a purpose. Imagine a powerful wild horse. If it is left uncontrolled, it runs wherever it wants. It throws its rider into danger. It follows every impulse without thinking about the consequences. But when that same horse is trained, guided, and disciplined, it becomes a means of reaching places that would otherwise be impossible. The Nafs is similar. When it is in control, a person becomes a prisoner of desires, emotions, pride, and temporary pleasures. Every craving becomes a command. Every temptation becomes a direction. But when the heart turns toward Allah and begins to discipline the Nafs, something remarkable happens. The very energy that once pulled a person away from Allah begins to push them toward Him. This is why true spiritual growth is not merely about avoiding sin, it is about transforming the inner self. The goal is not to become someone else. The goal is to become the person Allah created you to be, free from the chains of uncontrolled desires and closer to your Lord with every step. The frightening thing about the Nafs is that it rarely announces its presence. It does not come to you and say, "I am leading you away from Allah." Instead, it works quietly, hiding behind excuses, habits, and desires until a person no longer notices its influence. So how do you know if your Nafs is secretly controlling you? The first sign: you delay obedience but never delay your desires. When it comes to prayer, repentance, or reading the Quran, you tell yourself, later. But when it comes to something you want, you find the time immediately. The second sign: you always have an excuse. No matter what mistake you make, there is always a justification. The Nafs hates accountability because accountability is the beginning of change. The third sign: you care more about being admired than being sincere. Good deeds start feeling less valuable when nobody sees them. Praise becomes sweeter than Allah's pleasure. The fourth sign: you become uncomfortable when someone reminds you of the truth. Instead of reflecting, you become defensive. The Nafs would rather protect its pride than accept correction. The fifth sign: you know exactly what needs to change, but you keep postponing it. Deep down, you already know the habit, sin, or weakness that is holding you back. Yet days become weeks, and weeks become months. If any of these signs feel familiar, do not lose hope. Recognizing the influence of the Nafs is not a sign of failure. It is often the first step toward freedom. The heart that still recognizes its weaknesses is a heart that Allah has not abandoned. There is a trick of the Nafs that is far more dangerous than temptation, and most people never notice it. The Nafs does not always try to make you look bad. Sometimes it tries to make you look good. Think about that for a moment. Most people imagine that spiritual danger comes in the form of obvious sins, but the Nafs is much more subtle than that. It understands that a believer may resist open disobedience, so instead of pulling them toward clear sins, it begins to whisper something else. Look how much better you are than others. And that is where the trap begins. A person starts praying regularly, and suddenly they look down on those who struggle with prayer. They gain a little knowledge, and suddenly they become harsh toward those who know less. They begin doing good deeds, but secretly hope that people notice. They speak about sincerity, yet feel disappointed when nobody praises them. Outwardly, everything looks righteous, but inwardly, the Nafs is quietly feeding itself. This is one of the most dangerous spiritual diseases because it hides behind acts of worship. A person may believe they are moving closer to Allah while pride is slowly growing inside their heart. The Nafs loves attention. It loves recognition. It loves being admired. If it cannot get satisfaction from sin, it may try to get satisfaction from good deeds. That is why some of the pious people of the past feared pride more than many other sins. They understood that a visible sin can lead a person to repentance, but hidden pride can make a person feel spiritually secure while their heart is becoming sick. So ask yourself a difficult question. When you do something good, who are you really trying to please? The answer to that question can reveal whether your heart is being guided by sincerity or quietly controlled by the Nafs. And sometimes, the greatest spiritual battle is not against wrongdoing. It is against the part of yourself that wants credit for doing what is right. Now comes the question that truly matters. If the Nafs is so powerful, how do we overcome it? Many people spend years fighting the wrong battle. They try to change everything overnight. They make huge promises, set impossible goals, and then become discouraged when they fail. But the path of transformation is not built on one giant victory. It is built on thousands of small victories that nobody sees except Allah. The first step is surprisingly simple. Learn to say no to yourself. Not every desire deserves to be followed. The Nafs becomes stronger every time it gives an order, and you obey without question. But the moment you begin resisting even small desires, its grip starts to weaken. Perhaps it is delaying a sin for the sake of Allah. Perhaps it is waking up for Fajr when every part of your body wants to stay in bed. Perhaps it is remaining silent when anger is pushing you to speak. Every small act of resistance is spiritual training. The second step is to develop hidden worship. The Nafs loves an audience. It loves being seen, admired, and praised. That is why secret acts of worship are so powerful. A dua nobody hears, a charity nobody knows about, tears shed before Allah when nobody is watching. These moments purify the heart because they are done for Allah alone. The third step is to guard your tongue. Many battles are lost through words. A single sentence spoken in anger can destroy years of trust. A moment of gossip can darken the heart. The Nafs often reveals itself through the tongue before it reveals itself anywhere else. The fourth step is to stop fighting every weakness at once. This is where many believers become overwhelmed. The Nafs wants you to believe that change is impossible. But imagine if today you focused on conquering just one weakness, one habit, one recurring sin, one destructive pattern. Small victories become larger victories, and larger victories become transformation. Finally, never forget that defeating the Nafs is not about perfection. You will stumble. You will have days when you feel strong and days when you feel weak. The goal is not to become flawless. The goal is to keep returning to Allah every time you fall. Because every sincere return weakens the Nafs and strengthens the soul. And one day, without even realizing it, you will look back and discover that the person who once controlled you no longer has the same power. The Nafs may still whisper, but it is no longer sitting on the throne of your heart. Allah is. Before you leave this video, think about one final question. If tonight were your last night on earth, what would matter more? The desires you satisfied or the soul you prepared to meet Allah? One day, every temptation will disappear. Every distraction will end. Every excuse will be buried beneath the soil. The only thing that will remain is the state of your heart when you stand before Allah. The struggle against your nafs is not proof that you are weak. It is proof that faith is still alive inside you. So do not give up. Keep fighting, keep repenting, keep returning to Allah. And if this message touched your heart, write in the comments, Ya Allah, help me defeat my nafs and purify my heart. May Allah guide us, forgive us, and make us among those who conquer themselves before they meet Him. Ameen.